Introduction to Biology. Biology is the study of living things. It encompasses the cellular basis of living things, the energy metabolism that underlies the activities of life, and the genetic basis for inheritance in organisms. Biology also includes the study of evolutionary relationships among organisms and the diversity of life on Earth. The levels of organization of matter are used to analyze and investigate profoundly a living being, since all of them are conformed by atoms, molecules, organelles, cells, tissues, organs, and organisms. The use of the human race has been based on the deep investigation of matter. Are things like artificial skin parts that help people that suffer accidents, has burns, and losing a certain limb. Then this guarantees a recovery. Another example will be the development on scientific environment because it led to an immense medical advance. For example, the amplification of a microscope, which we can even get to see a virus atoms and other organisms closer and nearer. This has helped because the medicine has found a way to combat and find a treatment against them, and also the possible cure against a virus.
The cells of the living things are made mainly of four elements: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. They make up 96% of the atoms that are in the living things. There are 5 main theories about the origin of life. Theory of the special creation, the one of Adam and Eve, which is in the Bible. The organic evolution, which says speciation stretches back over 3.5 billion years, during which life has existed on Earth. Materialistic theory. The origin of life on Earth is the result of a slow and gradual process of chemical evolution that probably occurred about 3.8 billion of years. Theory of consecutive creation is the idea that Earth has been affected in the past by sudden, short-lived, violent events, possibly worldwide in scope. And finally, the clay theory postulates that the complex organic molecules arose gradually on a pre-existing non-organic replication platform, silicate crystals in solutions.
The cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism, typically microscopic and consisting of cytoplasm and a nucleus enclosed in a membrane. Cell metabolism. A cell's daily operations are accomplished through the biochemical reactions that take place within the cell. Reactions are turned on and off or sped up and slowed down according to the cell's immediate needs and overall functions. At any given time, the numerous pathways involved in building up and breaking down cellular components must be monitored and balanced in a coordinated fashion. To achieve this goal, cells organize reactions into various enzyme-powered pathways. The cell structure and function consist in the cell wall that it helps in protecting the plasma membrane and plays a vital role in supporting and protecting the cells. The cell membrane, it is a double-layered thin barrier surrounding the cell to control the entry and exit of certain substances. Cytoplasm, it is a membrane which protects the cell by keeping the cell organelles separate from each other. Nucleus, they are the membrane-bound organelles which are found in all eukaryotic cells. Nucleolus, it is an important membrane found inside the nucleus. Chromosomes, it is made up of DNA and stored in the nucleus, which contains instructions for traits and characteristics. Ribosome, it plays a vital role in protein synthesis. Cytoplasm, it is a membrane which protects the cell by keeping the cell organelles separate from each other. Nucleus, they are the membrane-bound organelles which are found in all eukaryotic cells.
Biologists use the classification to organize living things into groups so that the organisms are easier to study and classify, such as the classification of living beings. The characteristics to identify a living being are movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition. The levels of classification are divided in 7 sections that were invented by the Swedish scientist Linnaeus, which are species, genus, family, order, class, phylum, and kingdom. The kingdoms in which the organisms are divided are principally in 5. Monera, there are single-celled organisms that don't have a nucleus. Bacteria make up the entire kingdom. Protist, single-celled organisms that have a nucleus and usually live in water. Fungi, cells with nucleus and all except yeast are multicellular. They are usually motionless organisms. Plants, cells that contain nucleus and are multicellular, and also they contain chlorophyll, a green pigment that is necessary for photosynthesis. Animals, they are the most complex organism on Earth. They are multicellular organisms which are divided in several groups such as amphibian, class reptile, class mammalia, among others.
Archaea is any of a group of unicellular prokaryotic organisms that have a different molecular characteristics that separates them from bacteria and from eukaryotes, organisms including plants and animals whose cells contain a defined nucleus. Replicate asexually in a process known as binary fission. Archaea achieve a swimming motility via one or more tail-like flagellate. Archaeans are extremophile, achieving wide environmental tolerance of temperature, salinity, and even radioactive environments. Archaea thought to be significant in global geochemical cycling, since they comprise an estimated 20% of the world's biomass. However, very little is known about the domain, especially marine and deep-sea benthic varieties. Bacteria includes the parachaetes people encounter on an everyday basis. Most bacterial species are heterotrophic, that is they acquire their food from organic matter. The largest number of bacteria are saprobic, meaning that they feed on a dead or decaying organic matter. A few material species are parasitic. These bacteria live within host organisms and cause diseases.